Okay, well, welcome to the Psychic Side here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network, Moonstruck TV, and Lightning Television. You can watch us live on our Facebook page. I keep forgetting to tell you that. So we have a Facebook page, Psychic Radio well, I guess it's not .com, but it's just Psychic Radio on Facebook. And I believe you can watch us on time on real time. So if you want to do that, be sure to tune in and watch some of the shows, and especially ours, on the Facebook page, and you'll see it live. And so I'm John Cappello. I'm your host here on the Psychic Side. We like to talk about psychic stuff and debunk some of the skeptics. And today is no different. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a little bit of a surprising reading I had. I won't talk about the person, of course, but it's just a surprise for me when people come to see someone like myself and they say, "Oh, well, that's easy," or "That's." It's kind of funny, but because I don't know these folks, and and when I pick up something, it's not because I'm guessing; it's because I see it, or some of it is I guess flows, but you get fragments and you get different impressions of spirits, and so you want to be sure to be as accurate as you can be. So today I want to kind of break down what a mediumship reading uh, is, and the impressions that at least I get. I'm not going to speak for every medium, but I'm going to speak for myself because there are just so many different attitudes and perspectives and I guess techniques, if you want to call it that. But for me, I have a certain structure that I feel occurs with my gifts, and I follow that structure. I just give into it. I don't try to challenge it because it works. It's something that I believe is real, and something that is comes to me on a regular basis. And if you watched or listened to our show, hopefully you can see I'm not using any tools or anything to um, get information on people. It just kind of comes. And one of the first things that I'm glad um, that comes is the gender of a person, and now in this particular case, the person that I was reading for said, "Oh, well, that's easy. You got a 50-50 chance." Well, but I got it. I got the correct gender, and and the thing is, I got the correct person that she was trying to reach. Now, that person was in a different spot; they weren't in the same spot. Well, that's also a clue as to what is going on. And like I say, I can't always say it works, but sometimes when people die or pass over or cross over, there's a certain um, oh, clues that they give you, whether it was an illness or an accident or just because of old age. But one of the clues is for me is when someone takes their own life. And I don't know if I've spoken about that before here on the show, but it and it may just be unique for me, but a lot of times when someone takes their own life, they're either not in the usual place I would expect them to be, or they wait. They wait before they show up in the reading. They don't show up immediately, and so it's kind of a curious thing because I look for signals from people when they're coming in from the spirit world. And but like I say, the first thing that people indicate to me is that what gender they are, if they're male or female, if they come in on the right or left, And if you're a skeptic and you don't want to accept that, well, I can't help you. I mean, I can't make up a new gender. I mean, I can't make up these things. I can't make up whether a relationship with you, and so it just baffles me when I get that kind of response. And I hope I don't sound offensive. It's just that she said, "Well, you're getting defensive." I said, "I'm not being defensive. I just said I don't know. You got me kind of at a disadvantage, you know." So uh, so we have our first caller. I'll get to her in just a moment, and so please be patient. But I do want to say another thing about people when they come in, if they're in grief and when they're in grief. I can sometimes tell what stage of grief they're in because of the energy they project to me. And in this particular case, it was shock. Now, this person's who the loved one had been gone for a little over a year, but they were still in shock. And I told her that. I said, "You're still in shock." I said, "That's why there's the things just are not quite in place yet." So she goes, "Yeah, I'm still in shock." And well, she should have been. It was just a horrible situation, which was shown to me. So let's go to Melissa in Farmington, New York. So Melissa, are you there?
I am here. How are you?
Is that fine? Is that in northern New York or where, or western New York or where?
Upper Western, between Buffalo and Syracuse,
Upper
or
western. Okay.
Rochester and Syracuse. Yep.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So Melissa, uh, have you been crying? Has there been a situation that's caused you to be crying or very upset lately?
Just finding honestly about my workers' comp, what's going on with my nursing career. Yeah.
You have been? Okay. Is there a man involved with this?
Like my boyfriend?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's giving you consolation or something like this. So this is about work. Is this something you're having some issues at work?
I've been out of work since last November for my knee and for my left ankle.
Okay. What is your birth sign?
Um, by August 9th.
So are you Virgo or are you Leo?
Leo.
You're Leo. Okay. Well, Leo is starting a new life. I've said this before on the show. I don't know if you listened, but with Pluto entering the sign of Aquarius, you're kind of at the bottom of a new paradigm in your life. So I understand it's very upsetting because you feel like there's nothing, no future ahead in some regards, and I'm so sorry that you're injured. But this is a time to make some goals. Okay, this is a time to work on your health. This is a time for you to allow yourself to recoup and not be very hard on yourself. Okay, because you have ended a major cycle, and you are starting a new cycle. Okay, and this new cycle is going to slowly see you rise because you're at the bottom. Now, if you called me and said, "Oh, I'm rich and famous," well, then I would say, well, maybe you're going to go from riches to rags. But the Pluto influence is a rags to riches. Okay, and so I feel like there's a sense of there's a little bit of depression here. There's a little bit of feeling isolated. But I hope that you won't give up hope because I feel like things are going to start to turn better. You also have Mars right now, which is squaring the sign of Leo, and that's always a stinker. So by next month or so, that's going to be helpful to getting you out of this funk that you're in. Now, do you have any young children around you, or they may not be your own, but others like nieces or nephews or anything like that, or any coming in your life?
um, the youngest one I have in my life, well, of my own, would be my 14-year-old. But actually, I'm watching my granddaughter tomorrow. She just turned 3.
Your granddaughter? You have a granddaughter coming?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I just feel like that's an area that's going to bring you joy. And it's like I say, I know that the money and everything is a difficult task right now, but this is a time for you to just kind of take a deep breath and just give yourself some time to get resituated or reoriented, because you're going to start to build something new for yourself, and it's going to be a slow rise. I don't know. I feel like your boyfriend seems like be a pretty good character and someone who is supportive of you. Is that right?
He's very, very, and he wants me to go to Greece with him and visit where he, has family
Oh,
and yeah.
well,
I
I
don't
would
know what's
go.
going on with our future. I'm waiting for him to tell me that he loves me, but I know he does. He just doesn't say it.
Well, I mean, if you can go to Greece or you can take some time off, this is a good time for you to do that, to kind of clear your head and to just set the stage for this new life. Because it's like I say, the energy I'm getting from you is that you're kind of beating up on yourself. You're not blaming yourself for the situation you're in, are you?
Um, yes and no, because I just feel like I've been a nurse for 28 years, and I wasn't planning on stopping it anytime soon. But then I got hurt not once but twice, and yes.
Well, the universe is just telling you it's time for a change. Okay. And sometimes it's not very kind when it does that. So when that happens, you just have to take some time to kind of let the dust settle, so to speak. But it seems to me your priority is your health and clearing your mind and enjoying your grandchildren, and I think you're lucky to have a supportive partner that's in your life. So you've got lots of positives around you. It's just that the money will come, and you'll be much better for it. So I can't tell you that you're going to be mega rich or anything, but I do feel like that over the next few months things are going to start getting better. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. You take care. All right.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. So I wanted to tell you a little bit more about a reading. So a lot of times, oh, by the way, you can see that this was more of a psychic reading that we did for Melissa, because the information was more about her. The gentleman I was picking up was her boyfriend, but I was mainly talking more about mediumship in the beginning. But in mediumship, you first pick up, whether it's the gender of someone, and then the relationship. And usually, husbands and fathers are over the right shoulder, and mothers and wives are over the left shoulder, and then a brother might be on just on the side, and a child might be just in front, along with animals like pets, and they will be in front. At least for me, I can only say that. Now, directly behind you, you may see guides, or you may see angels, and they may be just behind the head, or over the head. Now, ancestors are a part of this as well, because ancestors can be just off the shoulder, that to portray themselves as grandparents or great grandparents, or even beyond that. Now, another aspect is for me, is the distance that a close loved one is portrays himself from you. So if they're right on top of your shoulder, right, like over here, then you had a close relationship. If they're a little bit above, or they're a little bit on the side, then there may have been some tension there. And if they're way far away, then there could have been some major issues that were between the two of you. So I see that quite a lot. I don't mean to give you a lesson in mediumship today, but these are the ways that they portray themselves to me, and a lot of times they do it with fragments and things of that nature. So it's fascinating the way it works. And so I'm always happy to teach this, teach people how to do these things or how to recognize it, and that's why I offer my psychic journeys, psychic development classes, and my sitting with spirits classes as well. We'll be starting up that new series sometime in August and September, and along with the Monday astrologer again. So be sure to watch my Facebook page for details on that, and because we'll be taking names of some potential students soon. So let's go to our next caller, Jerry Ann in Alberta, Canada. So Jerry Ann, are you there?
I am.
How are you today?
Good. Yourself?
Fine, fine. Jerry Ann, it just seems to me like you're naturally a positive person. Does that make sense?
Uh, as I'm growing, absolutely. Becoming more at peace. Right? There was a time where I dwelled
You're
in the
negative.
negative. Oh, yeah.
It
Right?
just seems to me everything seemed
yeah,
negative to you at that one time.
well, everything, right? I always expected worst case scenario. And of course,
Okay.
you put that out there, and what are you going to get?
Yeah. So it just seems to me like you're trying to look at the bright side of things because looking at things negatively just hasn't worked for you.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah. So it just feels like it's better to have a sense of optimism. A lot of people, especially people my age, they get negative. Old men
See, and
like me.
as I'm getting older, I'm getting
You're getting more
less.
positive.
I'm learning. Well, yeah.
That's
right. Starting, and I'm glad that I caught that little blurb because, well, I'll see what you have to say to me.
Okay. So Jerry Ann, do you have a mother in spirit?
Yes, I do.
Okay. It feels like you're pretty close to mom. Were you fairly close to mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's with me all the time.
She's with you all the time. Yes.
All the time.
She's letting me know that she thinks you're great. She says that now she's talking about flowers. Are you a gardener, or was she a gardener?
Actually, growing up, my dad had an amazing garden, and I just got a little piece of land of my own, and I'm attempting gardening. And I keep trying to call my dad here because my dad's crossed over. And I keep trying to call him here because, guide me, show me what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, she just says she says you have a natural green thumb. Okay. And so you might be like your dad because it seems like your dad was a person that could grow anything. All he had to do was just stick a root in the ground and it grow. Does that make sense?
Pretty much. Yes.
So your dad's energy is, I don't know, he just seems like a very kind man, a spiritual person. Does that make sense? In his way? Was he quiet?
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
there was things that happened. There was things that happened that his actions that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he may. I'm not saying that that certainly wasn't perfect, but there's something about Dad that makes
at the end of the day, I got to be the one there to help him cross over. And yeah, it was.
Well, it just seems like
that day.
At least at the end of life, you drew closer to him. Does that make sense?
Well, on the last day.
On the last day.
Because of things that I had found out, because of things I found out, I hadn't seen my dad for over 2 years. He had been in a home, deaf blind, full-blown Alzheimer's.
Oh my!
Had been in a wheelchair for almost 7 years. And something, something told me that day something just wasn't right, and I went, and I just couldn't believe that they were keeping my father alive. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
anyways, I came to peace and I let him go with peace and unconditional love. And yeah, I made sure every vegetable seed possible. I made sure when he crossed over, he had all those to take with him.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I just kind of get a good feeling between the two of you. And you know, I guess I can delve deeper into this and look and see what if he did, what deeds he may have done, and that kind of brings me back to some of the last part of what I was going to talk about with the reading, because in a reading you pick up the gender, you pick up the relationship, you pick up circumstances on how they pass so many times, and then you pick out some of the things that events between you and dad. So dad
Right.
may have been estranged from the family. Mom and dad may have had their problems as well. I don't know if dad drank. It looks like he may have had some behaviors that were
Yeah.
um,
Him
that
and
were not.
my mom were always together.
Yeah.
They never split up. He was always apart, but because of the things that happened, it just changed the course of how our family operated.
Hmm. Now I
Um,
have to ask you this: was there anything about a fire department in your life, or firemen, or anything like that? I don't know. Was there ever a fire in your life or anything?
no, there was a time in just before I left Medicine Hat for a while and come back, and right before I come back, my roommate quit taking medication or whatever, and I was held at knife point. It took the SWAT team in, and it was actually a fireman that come up and finally got me out of
Okay,
the
okay. And
apartment.
that there's something about the firemen or the fire department or something. So my goodness, you that's pretty traumatic to have someone put a knife to your neck and have to have the SWAT team come out. That's just I'm so sorry that that happened to you.
You know, and
But
my
I'm just
family
telling.
thought I was lying about it until they seen it on the national news.
Wow.
So I know that was probably pretty hard for my dad.
Yeah. Well, he's the one that brought it up, and because he was trying to bring in about the firemen, and I thought there was a fire or whatever, but you validated about the firemen
Just,
rescuing you, so I'm glad about that.
I
But
guess it's his way from the other side of saying sorry for not believing me.
well, he does believe you now.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought it up. He wouldn't have
Yeah,
acknowledged it, right?
that's pretty
So I
random.
thank him for that.
Yeah, that's pretty random. Some guy from Texas is telling someone in Canada
Right?
about a fire. So so I'm glad that you called, and just know that your parents have done a lot of healing. They're really excited about you and your new property, and I wish you the very best. So we got to grow those flowers fast. I would imagine in Canada. I don't know how long your summers are, but
Well, we've got
we have terrible
about
ones.
3 months left, anyways.
3 months, okay. We probably have 7.
Yeah, see?
So
Maybe I
and
need
they're
to move there.
no, well, if you like 100-degree weather, we're getting ready to have that. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I actually love that.
you do okay. Well, great. Well,
Yeah,
welcome. Everybody else is covered here.
right? There we go.
so,
Great.
so thank you very much, Jerry, and best of luck to
Thank you.
you. And I'll hope to hear from you again. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.
So. So, so we're back here on the show, and as I was telling you that as we do readings, we pick up about 4 different things at first. They just boom, 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 boom. You pick up the gender and so on and so forth, and then as you get into the reading and the spirit or the presence. Communicates more with you, or they allow more to be revealed, you you can pick up more information, because it's like I say, the information about a fireman and this lady in Canada, was pretty random because we had been talking about flowers and we've been talking about different things like that, and then suddenly your father came in and so started talking about those things, and it was accurate. So I understand there's wiggle room. I understand that there's a little bit of leeway that a client has to give a medium, but these things are not made up. They're real, and people in the spirit world do try to communicate with us, and we have to be open for it. And yeah, you can easily dismiss what someone says as a psychic or a medium, um, because you are the ultimate truth giver. Okay, because we don't know you, we don't have we don't have that intimate knowledge of your life. I certainly don't, being in Texas and speaking to someone in Canada. So, but but if she would have said no, there's nothing about a fireman, there's nothing about then I would have to believe her. But she was kind enough to acknowledge that, and so I like to pick up things that are unique, if possible, because most people drive a car. A lot of people smoke. A lot of people die from cancer. A lot of people, these things. But we want to make sure that we are giving good information. So the show goes fast, and we only have a few seconds left. And I want to just thank our sponsor once again, Miracles of Joy. Go to their website and buy some stuff, and you can use promo code PSO223 and get a discount. Now, this weekend, I'm going to be at Miracles of Joy in Bedford, only on Saturday. I'll be doing readings, and I'll be doing a spirit gallery that evening. If you're in the area, please come by and join us. And otherwise, join us again next week here on the Psychic Side. Be sure to like my Facebook page and you keep up with what I'm doing. I've got lots of stuff going on all the time. And it's always a delight to have you join us here every Tuesday at 5 p.m. So that's about it for me. I'm John Cappello. This is the Psychic Side on the A1R Psychic Radio Network. Until next week, bye-bye.